Yeah, and I have to ask you this question because I come from the world of food and nutrition. So, and there is this. I think one of the worst things to teach and educate parents about food is when, and I think I don't know if you remember this, but we had that conversation back when, and it's about how, let's say, dairy. If you eat dairy, it's going to cause this and this symptom. Or if you eat too much of this, too much of candy, too much this, this is going to cause that, whatever symptom.
Yes.
So what do you have to say about, where is GNM sort of, how can that resolve that kind of conflict?
Well, and this is a very sensitive topic, as you can imagine. I have a lot of friends that are nutritionists, that are naturopaths, that are homeopaths, where really the basis of a lot of the therapies are based on food elimination, on cleanses, on sort of cleaning up the diets, right? And I get it. It is important for us to eat clean, to avoid certain chemicals, to eat as clean as we can, have a variety, eat locally. All those things are great. Why? Because they give us energy. They raise our energy. Now, one of the things that differentiates the GNM perspective when it comes to food is that the fifth biological law actually states that every so-called disease or biological program comes about because it's a meaningful and significant biological process in assisting that organism in dealing with an emotionally distressing situation or an unexpected event. So these symptoms that we experience, that skin rash, that cough, that stomach pain, it serves a biological purpose in helping that organ that's affected to function better until that person is no longer in that stress state or that conflict is resolved. So when you look at the body as an intelligent organism, when you appreciate that there's these built-in mechanisms that's assisting the body in healing, then we start to realize that this idea that eating poorly or introducing quote-unquote bad foods into the system is causing a disease doesn't fly. Because now we look at diseases as meaningful biological processes, that something unexpectedly happened that shocked you. So now where does this put this whole concept around eating and nutrition when it comes to GNM? Well, as you mentioned, as a parent, you focus less on what they're consuming from a food perspective, and you focus more of your energy on how they're responding emotionally to unexpected events, which to me is liberating, number one, because as you said, you can get overwhelmed with all of the content online, in all sorts of blogs and all sorts of media telling you the right thing to feed, how much of the right thing. 1 minute, strawberries could cause these skin allergies. The next minute, well, but you need strawberries because they contain certain, carotenoids, flavonoids that are important for the body. And so it can get overwhelming and confusing, but instead of focusing on that, yes, you still want your child to eat healthy, to eat in moderation, to use common sense, but you're now conscious of their emotional state if they get a symptom after an unexpected event, after a change in routine. And to me, in terms of long-term relationship developing, you will actually have a better connection with your child because you know how they hear things, you know how they perceive things, you know how they're interpreting things in their day-to-day lives. And if you're a conscious parent and you're willing to put in the effort, you can actually cater to your child's vulnerabilities that allows them to feel understood. Mom gets me, that she doesn't yell at me about these things, even though she yells at my brother about that. Because I know that if she yelled at me, I would feel so devalued. I would feel, like I'm the worst person on earth when she does that. And those types of conflicts could lead to joint pain or juvenile arthritis. And so you start to see how it's so important in terms of just connecting with your child when you focus less on what they're eating, more on how they're experiencing these unexpected events based on the symptoms that they present with.